What's going on, everyone? So, now that we know that we are getting an upcoming Scream 8, um, million possibilities and potentials run through your head, right? Because now we have confirmation before the next installment is even out, right? We got it through Production Weekly, so we know a Scream 8 is in the works. Scream 8 is something that was rumored and kind of talked about pretty much from the moment they announced Scream 7. It was like, hey, they're going to do a Scream 8. And again, I'm all for it. Obviously, execution, delivery, you got to give me a good film, right? I don't want a movie just to have a movie, right? Like you got to give me a good Scream movie and then justify the next installment, right? Like now, obviously, how are they going to end Scream 7, right? Like, or is it going to end in a cliffhanger? Are they going to have a conclusive ending? Is it going to be sunshines and rainbows, or is it going to be just absolute carnage? I really think, and in many ways, it is hope, right? Like, but in many ways, I really do think we're going to get kind of like that Infinity War before Endgame type moment, right? Like, I think we're going to get something where, I wouldn't even be surprised if, Gale dies or something like that to really kind of set the tone, set it in, and we're all like, no way, right? Have that kind of Avengers Infinity War ending where it's just absolute chaos and carnage and, people, bodies dropping, and it's just, you're like, wow, like, what are we about to get into next? I hope that that's kind of the case, right? Like, yes, you can have it finish in a bow and have a fully conclusive Scream movie, and you know, just do your typical run of the mill, right? But I'd like to change up the narrative a little bit, right? Like I don't want to lose what Scream is inherently, but you can do that, right? And still have an epic ending, right? Like you can have the big ghost face reveal. And I mean, even if you're somebody that's like, no, like, Sydney and the gang have to take out a ghost face. Okay, fine. Like you can still take out a ghost face. You can still do pretty much everything you've done in a Scream movie, and then have at the end just something crazy happen, right? Like, again, maybe you have something where whatever, like you think you killed the ghost face, you think everything is all sunshines and rainbows, and okay, cool, we were able to take out Ghostface, right? We were able to get the job done per usual, right? Boom, high fives all around, and then just like out of left field, to all of our surprise, two Ghostface or several Ghostface just pop up and just like take out Chad or take out Gale or take out, or maybe we think that they take out Sydney, right? Like, I don't think they'd actually kill Sydney, but, point is like, do we get something where it's just like, no way they just did that? Did they really just, kill that person and they really just do that? Like, oh, we thought it was over, and then there's just like this big epic moment, right? Like, I think something like that would be a lot of fun. I think something like that would be really cool for a Scream movie. Have this just like crazy, I didn't see that coming ending, right? Because again, usually they're pretty straightforward. Usually they're, you know, hey, here's your who done it. Here's the reveal. The main characters save the day, and then now you're jumping into the next film, right? Where I would love to see this kind of follow that formula, that very simple formula, and then ultimately just dump it on its head and just have some like really awesome moment where we're all just like, wow, right? And just leave people leaving the theater with just this sense of like, what just happened, right? Like that's again Infinity War, right? That was the epic kind of like, wow, like that really just happened. That was really a thing. That was something completely unexpected, right? And I think if obviously you don't want to just do stuff just to do stuff, right? But I think if it's well done, if it's well executed, you're telling a good, convincing story, right? And we know that they have had this planned for quite some time. Why not just kind of have it unfold and end in a full-fledged cliffhanger? Why not have it end in just like a bloody mess and just really raise the stakes to have that bleed into the next installment, right? A cliffhanger is not something that has not been explored in the Scream movie. I mean, you can make an argument every Scream movie, or almost every Scream movie, has had a cliffhanger with Ghostface kind of popping at the screen at the end or slashing the screen and that stuff, right? The only time was Scream 3, right? So it's like I can you can argue that would be that, but it's kind of more of like a gimmick than like a traditional cliffhanger in that sense. But Scream has explored the possibilities and ideas of a cliffhanger on several occasions, right? Even Scream 2, at the end of Scream 2, there was supposed to be cliffhanger when, the Sydney's walking across the courtyard and it pans up to that bell. Originally, the idea was to have Roman Ghostface costume. At the time, we wouldn't have known it was Roman, but in hindsight, we know it's Roman. But Roman just kind of looking down at Sidney Prescott, right? And that's how it would have ended, right? There was talks about Scream 4 and having there were multiple kind of cliffhanger ideas left up in the open from, Sidney, being perceived dead to Jill to, there was oh, we got a live one, here, and it was just kind of left ominous of like, who is it? Is it Kirby? Is it Sydney? Is it whoever? Right? And we didn't get any of those. Well, now you have an opportunity, especially if you do end up going the cult route, which is kind of another reason why what I think is going to happen is I think they're going to have kind of like the run of the mill thing. There's all these Ghostface, but then in the end, you find out like, oh, there's a full-fledged cult, right? Full-fledged cult, a bunch of Ghostface ready to take over, right? And that would be, again, something kind of epic, right? Where you take out a Ghostface or two, you think you won, and then as you're killing them, they're like, oh, you think this is it? I'm just the tip of the spear, right? Like you have no idea what's coming, right? You have no idea what's going on, what's about to happen to you. And then, all of a sudden you just see the cult step out or something. And, maybe Sydney and everyone are kind of just like dead to rights. And it's like, how are they going to get out of this? Like, how are they going to survive this? Right? There's like 30 Ghostface cult members just like waiting, right? Like, I don't know. I think having a fun, creative kind of ending where, you have the audience walking out, jaws dropped on the floor, where we're all just kind of like, what in the world just happened? Right? Like, how in the world did that just happen? Right? And that's good to have. Generates a buzz, generates conversation, right? Myself and many other content creators and just, fans and stuff, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be sharing it. We're going to be giving our thoughts and opinions like, oh, did they take it too far? Or was it not far enough? Or, oh, can you believe they did this or they did that? Right? Like there's a version where, you're really generating and creating this buzz that just comes sort of natural. And I'd love to kind of see that happen. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Past question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? If it would have thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think that there'll be kind of a, Infinity War type grandiose ending? Do you think no, absolutely not? Do you think they shouldn't? How do you feel? Either way, love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.